The Barracks.
Was home when you left. You're right. The dog was home when you left. You're right. The cat was home when you left. You're right. The fish was home when you left. You're right. Your mommy, your daddy, your brother, your sister, the dog, the cat, the fish was home when you left. You're right. And that's the reason you left. You're right. I left my home. I left my home. Johnny on it.
Another day,
Come on,
another episode.
go again.
Back again.
Let's get it.
Let's start with the important
You know
ritual.
them ones.
You know what? You do that, and you do this. I pledge allegiance to the ways and the code of masculinity.
Masculinity.
Never at any point should the feminine imperative affect my decision-making capacity. And we go.
We move.
Hey, namhla ngathi kutaba mnanzi.
Ngikhomoja.
Hey, yatawushisa fe. Tawushisa thina bathola namhla lelinye ilanga.
Yes.
Le nkulumo yethu ngathi nekujula kakhulu.
Oh yeah.
What are we speaking on today?
My boy. The coming together of the beings. Marriage.
The marriage, you know?
Speaking on the matrimony.
Hey, my boy.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of funny how we're actually celebrating this weekend. None of us was getting married, dog. We were just happy that people were actually getting married.
Yeah, man.
You know?
I think it's not something that's as prevalent nowadays. Because my tweet, you saw my tweet.
Yeah.
My tweet was, yo, I'm glad we're celebrating weddings instead of
Baby showers. I put that in the rap. One of my songs. Yo, shout out, Illuminated. Look for that song.
Yeah. So, but I don't know how we feel about marriage now. This gen, this era that we're in. You know?
Yeah, I know. I think that's the tricky thing about it now. Like, because we're not sure about the concept altogether. Particularly us as the lads. Even the hands. Most of the hands even.
You think so?
Yeah, most of the hands
so
actually. Yeah.
Not sure about what
I think they're more than us even. For different reasons, but definitely they're more than us. Because fundamentally, dog, it's always something that's in the back of our minds.
Bro.
It's just that now mathematically,
The maths
it's a
is
bit
not
tricky.
adding up, bro.
Yeah.
The maths is not adding up now.
It's in a strong logo. When a bashang concept is all together.
Because, I mean, honestly, I think at this gen that we're in, I think we want it more than they do.
Definitely.
For pure reasons.
Definitely.
You know? Yeah.
Angithi le system lesesiphila kiyo legama nje la purity alisadzingeki kule vocabulary yakho nje umuntu. You know, essentially like those values that made marriage what
Sacred.
it was don't exist anymore. You know? Yeah.
Just got quiet.
So much for an intro. Welcome back to the Barracks. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
And hit the notification bell and engage with the homies, you know? Today, episode whatever, we're talking marriage. What is marriage, bro?
Marriage. I don't know what it is, I like.
Yeah, because I'm waiting for your explanation. I'm going to give you two.
You want to give me two?
I'm going to give you two.
For me, it's the coming together of two people.
Okay.
To build a family.
Okay.
Raise some youths.
Okay.
And be a cornerstone in society, ultimately. Because now we're touching on family as well. Because I think family is
that's the cornerstone of society, man.
Yeah.
Facts. Yo, that's a good definition, dog.
Thank you.
That's a good definition.
For an uneducated brother.
That's hard to look talk about food.
What is
Never
it to you?
commos.
What is it to you? What is it to you?
Okay.
Yeah.
I derive from what you said. It is the union of two people in holy matrimony. A covenant, you know. A covenant between you and this person, one.
Yeah.
And a covenant witnessed by the world and the Lord himself. And your ancestors, no two, in that situation. That's the first definition. Now, to connect to this thing being recognized by your lozis, nobabili, then marriage further becomes the union of two families.
Two families.
Again, to be the cornerstone of society.
Yeah.
Because now it's two different families
coming together. Yeah.
That's marriage. Two entities, two different spirits that come with a whole lot of shit in it.
Essentially. That's not the dictionary version. Obviously, you guys will do the Google thing and do what you like there. But this is the understanding.
The
general
understanding, exactly.
of what marriage should be.
Theoretically.
Is it that?
No. I think now we have to put into context. Because I'm saying in the past 10 years it's changed. In the past 20 years it's changed.
Yeah.
What it means to people also now has changed.
Yeah.
You know, why they do it.
It's also changed.
It's also changed.
Yeah.
But I think where we are right now, it means less than it has ever meant.
Ever.
You see?
Yeah, at
any point.
Fact.
Because the marriage rates have gone down.
Divorce rates have gone
up. So
imagine, dog, fewer marriages and still in those marriages, more divorces.
My boy.
That's some twisted shit.
We're in dark times, my boy.
Ubangelwa yini?
I want to get him low. Yeah, it's a problem, boy. It's a problem. I think it just goes back to, you know, what I said just now. We do it for different reasons.
Yeah,
now, it's not about function. Because I think that's it was always a case of function.
Yeah.
Particularly now, because we're just speaking on it now. Function when we're talking about arranged marriages.
Yeah.
There it benefited everyone in theory. So we'll see both families coming together. This works for both families. Yeah. The kids, generations going forward. This is what it's about. Now
we'll expand on that.
Because now when I get married, I don't get it on Nabaseka. It's like it's a one fat.
One fell.
Yeah, both.
Until you see that now you are negating an important aspect of the marriage itself, because that's uniting the two families. So Nine, on top of what you didn't unite my families then, not essentially. Because Lumvana wala usite abafuni nangala nabathi abafuni partners dawana ngenkani kanje. Hey, sentified,
rebellious.
Mpikisa umthetho wasekhaya. Angitsenikhulile senifuna kushada nakhe wena umndeni. Which is now another tricky thing about it, because instead of uniting these two families, you're creating your own. Because you can't run away from
creating your own.
You are your family. Still,
you
see what I mean? You still are your family, though, so you can never run away from that. That's one thing we don't really pay attention to when we do these things.
I hear that.
Or eloping or what. So yeah, that's our chat. So we're gonna break it down however we break it down, types of marriages, why it works, why it doesn't, and all that, you know.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just a bit weird and ironic. Would see it connects to something we said on a previous episode about value, the first value episode that we did, right?
Yeah.
So back in the day, let me just give y'all guys a scenario. Start it up, and then it's down over time.
Yeah.
So back in the day, Bible times, like back in the day, dog. Nakushada again. Still some of the constructs I find. It's okay. Nanshada now shada nini sibukele tsine sejabulele. Yeah. Bese the story kill me though. Anyways, bese emva kwaloko nase kumele uconsummate lo mshado nabasho belungu. We all know what that means, so we won't get into details for that. You know?
PG 18.
18, you know. I niyafakwa lapha la nifakwa khona like a young heart there what. Umpriesti eminje la ngaphandle le first distance. Nathi leni sibukeliso lomshado wenu ukuthi sibe bofakazi. Siyanimela. Ngicela ukuconsummate umshado wenu. Hayi, nendele ngikunda kwenda. Sen uza. Umpriest umile la ngephandla kalali. Yebo inkonzo yena sikayibukele. Asikayifa futhi.
Yeah.
But it's present. Low key
involved.
Ekuseni. Ningakabaleki nje, ningakendeki lokuni. Ungena umpriest kucala. Nasendesert. Athathe lamashit lamhlophe lapha.
Yeah.
Our parade la sife.
Yeah.
Uthi cha. Umshado so official.
Oh yes.
Laba bashadile lapha.
Seyiphelele.
Seyiphelele sesiyayifala. Sesiyabuyela semakhaya so. Sesishadisile kuhle nempala. Now, this touches on two things. The value that we talked about.
Yes.
The one we were reluctant to talk about, actually, purity.
Yeah, we grazed on it.
So what happens with that is, number one, kubonakala le purity ukuthi cha vele lo muntu lo shadawo la khaya umuntu vele lokumela shade hayi umuntu lo sashade phambili ngani shada vele official. Number one. Number two, this is very biblical. People that know me know that I'm not a religious person, but yeah, I'm versed when it comes to the knowledge of the Tinfole.
Yeah, big words.
It's a covenant now.
Of course.
Because in any type of a covenant, blood must be spilled.
Always.
Right?
It's tying you together.
Yeah.
The blood, yeah.
It's official, you know. And nakwendeki logo.
Now the priest is outside.
Nathi sesibonile.
Sesimile ukuthi hey
kanzi la
angifaka goje ukhambe njani la.
Awu. Ngelishwa ke bekubese kuyanishubela ngaleso sikhathi.
Yeah.
Ngoba ke nine leni kwendile.
Yeah.
Niye ngethini sisive nasifaka sisalide ukuthi siyashadisa la khaya. Kanti bantu kade bashada. Le khashani asathi usibashada nabo bani. Baganga. Thiwa cha. Lokho asikufuni lo society yethu. Abakhweshiso labantu labo. Yakhala lije emva kwalokho.
Stoning.
Gone boys. Long two.
R.I.P.
Ngesiyengilanga.
Good night.
Night.
Go meet your ancestors.
My boy.
Madness.
When I found that shit out, I was like, gangster.
Look.
Gangster.
Now here's the deeper thing for me. The reason we're all moving so mad now is because there's no repercussions for the fuckery. Number one. See,
that dog for me was like, you know what? Because, you know, I'm always very critical of the feminine imperative and all that shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, you see, this situation here, I love it. It's fair. Because you can't cry and say, they stoned the hand alone. Nah.
You're also
even Bafo inside gone.
Yeah. Whether you're innocent or not.
Cabanga ke wena so ungifake tinkingeni yana. Mina bengadepend. Ngisina ngithethe umfati. Sengiyafa. Ngizabe sengipick wrong. Which is ironic because nanyalo uyafa now pick wrong. But the death is just different.
Yeah.
So that's then. That's how serious marriage was then.
Yes.
Even for the society. How you feel about that?
Look, bro. My thing is this. I like that. Yeah, bro. Because, first of all, it's a value thing, number one.
Yeah.
We'll see, this is how we do things in the society.
Okay. There's rules.
The rules. Yeah, bro. The problem now is there's no rules. You can do what you want.
Do what thou wilt.
You see, shout out to Alistair Crowd.
My boy.
Hey, my boy. Not shout out, but yeah,
he knows what
you know what I mean. we know the vibes, yeah, bro. So with that now, when there's no consequences, we have an unruly society. Number one, yeah, bro. The function of whatever it is that we're doing now is null and void.
Yeah,
bro. It's null and void. Now, because here's the thing, because if I know that if I get a hand who's not pure, I'm gonna die. I make better choices. Number one. She makes better choices.
Number two. Your vetting system is more clinical.
It has to know.
And
because your life is on the line.
More clean. Because her life is on the line.
Yeah. So now let's fast forward it. Bring it into modern times. Do you think it's worth it at this point where we are to get married? As a gent.
Still figure up, but I'm gonna give you a flat no right now. Still figure up, because ngifuna ukuthi sidlale le play, I guess from a generational perspective.
Okay.
Because that was then ancient times.
That was even before the first marriage, so to speak, because the first one was the big homie Adam and the girl them Eve.
Sis, yabo?
Now.
Yabo? Lelo bengeke ngifake mina. Lokho songifake kuyo ngidawuphinza ngibangene. Lokho songifake kuyo ngidawuphinza ngibangene. I don't like this, but angifuni ukunika lelinye conspiracy ngoba ndawo bese ngithi ngicabanga singathi kakhulu. But is the kokaza ngalenye ilanga. If you get me privately, we'll talk about that chat. But is the asikhulume ngale Adam na Eve nyalo. Singafiki kulelenye. So kule story leso kwendekani. Again, it's going to touch on our value episode. Umdali walakha leljaha. Walinika leyo dominion lalinika yona ukuthi hayi nobuka lana pho uhlanganise yabo. Here's something very deep that people will never understand, or rather refuse to understand. The Big Bali gave man work first before he gave him a helper. / a wife. Ngoba basalithandlela help. He gave him work first. What did we say on our episode about value? What's your value to a hand? Resources.
Number one.
Yabo.
Yeah.
Umdala wamguide mfundo yokuqala. What's when I time like sir spana, uchuni relax. And man was alright. He was content. He didn't need what they guided.
Yeah.
But Big Bali checked.
No, it fit.
No, he just checked. It's like man's is cool. But technical. He's just functioning as a machine at this point.
Exactly.
He's doing what he's got to do.
Of course.
Okay? And that's it.
Right.
So I can see happy, I can see content. He's not feeling shit. He's just doing what he's got to do. He doesn't need to feel anything, right? But again, you are saying, relax. From you yourself, ndakwakhela 949.
From you. Ish, number one.
Ndakwakhela 949.
After Sunday service.
My boy. Ndakwakhela 949.
Yeah.
Ngikuchaza.
Yeah.
Yakho. It's a part of you. That's why when you get it and it's the right fit, it's click, lock and key, no stress.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Right? So that happens and it's clean. But you see now it goes back to how and why that person was created. For a function.
Yeah, exactly.
And a major component of that function, in all honesty, is to fit into this man's situation.
This word help meet. Help meet. It's in the Bible. You don't want to hear.
I'm gonna make you help me.
You don't want
No, I'm thinking, I have this thing, dog. Oh, my dad would kill me for this as well. But I have this thing, when I have arguments with people in certain conversations, I like to not use those references because it makes me a religious person. That's what people think, you're a religious person. But I'm like, no, this is a point that makes sense. This argument makes sense and it's good for context. You know? So everyone understands it because everyone knows it. Yes. When it's up to you. But now we piggies, I think you have to go to pixelan. So yeah. It's like no. You know. So that's why I do that a lot. Like in most of my chats, because I'm like, this is one frame of reference that we can all understand. Nothing that my ideologies that really it defeats the purpose of making the point that I'm trying to make at the time. Yeah. Right? Anyways, I digress. Logo bugiwa ngithi function wena nakwakho wena nakwakho. That happens, they have their kids, that thing happens, and then all hell breaks loose after that. That's fine. Fast forward again. Sesibuya again mhlawumbe to our times.
Yeah.
Even rather before our times, like though our Genesis. Back when we were living in harmony all together, people had a function, families had a function, chiefs and kings, the function of marriage then was to create ties, political ties, diplomatic ties, and strengthen kanjani bantu nangabe nje kuthiwa hayi siyathi bayagoje bakayalima thina sibaka amasuku sinetingomo letinto leti tawudzingana ukuze thina sakhe ebudlelwane sithole lijaha lekagoje mhlawumbe nakusisi wethu la bahlangane sitokhona ke thina kusebenzisana kangcono function again senda kanjalo even extending further to kings to stop wars and shit.
Of course.
It's like, yo, and Swazis were fucking crazy with that shit.
Clean.
I must want to clean with that shit. Like, Zuita dog, you wanna fight? No, bro. No, Zuita, let's not fight, but it's amazing. So 2 princesses there, relax, boy. Relax. Let's be nice.
Yeah.
Yo, go back then for you. Now, with the last 2 references that we just made, or rather the last one, one argument that Hans may come with and say, you see, vele kuthi we've been oppressed since the beginning of time. Sina solo specs of because the idea of, yo, here's a wife to keep peace. Lo muntu phela kusi ukuthi uyogonyekwa le. Uyophila kahle, ushade inkosi lo muntu.
Number 1.
Uyophila mnandi. Le la simikisa khona.
Number 2.
Konke la kudingako sekukhona.
Yeah.
The sacrifice that she had to make, so we all don't fucking die. Let's just marry that nigga.
We all don't die.
Yeah. You know. Because no, I feel like I don't like this. So it mustn't happen. All together. So what about function? What about what's important
for all of us? The issue that you've now brought to my attention is that it's all about feels and not function. The function remains the same regardless of how you feel. Yabo, kwecala nje.
Angathi kodwa ke masuku ngilokungabali phela ukuthi ngeke inyalo. Nyalo nje lokusikhuluma on whatever level. This is on the family level, this is on a community level, this is on a national level, this is on a worldly level.
What's right now?
No one knows because no one cares. It's about what I want. Not even what they need. What I want. There's a line by, I think it's Talib Kweli on one of these old records.
Yeah.
Where he's on some like, yo, niggas, I see niggas running past what they need, chasing what they want. Yabo, says operator Lama wants nyalo triumph over our actual needs. We don't even know what we need.
We don't even
want
care to
everything.
Know.
Yeah,
because now the want thing, it's also an element of greed, because what you need will suffice. What you want is greed. It's
facts.
Like extra.
Facts. And typically what you want, bruh, is not what you need. It's like, no, you need this. You can't want that. You know, fuck dog, I want to drink every day and do nothing.
Allow it.
But I don't need that.
You can't do that.
You know what I mean? Simple shit.
I want to sleep every day. You can't do that. Because the requirement is I must work.
Okay. So, but this whole time, we're just talking about marriage. But we've digressed so far. Now, we had to.
Yeah.
Because now it's to give you the idea of function in the first place.
We had to drill it in.
Fast forward to now. Now we're talking about our times.
Yeah.
At least linking from our kings to us now. With us, we can start with our parents or our grandparents. But that's us now. Directly linked.
I think where we can start now is the types of marriage. Because as things have changed, so has the types. Now things have been watered down, phased out, deemed to be, you know.
With the point that you just made. From the beginning, everything that I've been saying, like all the references that I've been making, those were arranged marriages.
100%.
All those are clear examples of arranged marriages.
No one had a choice in this thing. Nobody.
And it worked for everybody.
What? Actually fucking what? And think about it like this. The societies that still practice it now, how are they living? How are they functioning?
Their core values still remain the same. Function still remains the same. Even success rate
Still the same.
yeah, but see, nigga, who want freedom of choice and to do as we as we want. Now our outcomes are not the same.
Yeah, the freedom of choice. Yeah, yaqala lapho le nkinga. Ngakutshela, yaqala lapho le nkinga lokuthi wena uva ngathi ufuna na.
Yeah.
Yabo. Ganzi, like, I can make you want something, dog. There's certain ways and strategies. That's the whole core point of marketing.
Facts.
I can make you feel like you want something. You actually don't want it.
You don't want
I'm
it.
just tapping into parts of you that you are unconscious of. See? Now you feel like you don't want that shit.
Furthermore.
That's why you must gauge it according to need.
Yes.
No, okay, cool.
That
Because like,
makes sense.
I need money, but I could use more money. That's how you want more money. But you actually do need money to fucking survive. So if you have more, good for you.
Good for you, exactly.
Things like that.
So now you've touched on arranged marriages.
Which was the rawest form and the first form.
The first form of
you.
marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first form.
Then we now go on to polygamous marriages now.
Again, function.
Yeah.
Again, function because lapho nakhona sakhale family structure, sakhale society. Still. There people have choices still. But the function still trumps the choice.
Yeah. The function is always greater than the unfortunately. At that point. So now, then we go. Okay, we can just mention what's the other one? When the
No, because wait, it's still on the polygamy thing.
Yeah.
Because now we live in this society where all things must be equal and not whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Purely based on the function point that we keep trying to drill in. What's polyandrous? What's the function of a polyandrous situation? What's the function? Equal, right? What's the function?
I have no idea.
What is the function?
You see, because now there's another dynamic that's involved there. Power.
Okay.
You see, because in a polygamous marriage, ideally, typically, who has the power in the setup? I don't know anything about polyamorous marriage.
That's what we think. We think the man has the power. That's it. Structurally, traditionally, that was never the case.
It was never the case. So now in a what is it?
Polyandrous.
There we go. I don't even want to know how to say it.
We ain't doing it over here.
Don't do that. So, what is the function of it? What are the dynamics? How does it work? I have no fucking idea.
No one knows, but they're fighting for it. Because their fight is, if you can have a lot of hands, I must have a lot of homes. And I'm like, okay, cool. What's the function? Because me having a lot of hands, I can have more kids. I'm not gonna pop 20 in you, but I can pop 5 in 4 of you.
There we go. The numbers
Function.
still adds up. The end goal.
Function.
Yeah. But
Sometimes
when
I can't
with
do
one womb, you give birth once a year, man. What are we doing? Unless you're building a harem of men, then that's calm. Then that's calm. You know? So,
Function?
Yeah.
No function.
question mark.
Spencer saying that. I just had to point that out with polygamy. Because also, the structure of polygamy fundamentally was, besides the function itself,
Yeah.
even the dynamic traditionally, from what I've heard, from what I know, it's always a case of Babe can suggest it, or whatever the case. But typically, it's Umamkulu's decision.
She must okay it.
She must okay it. Even further, in certain instances, she must pick. Yabo. In some situations, from what I heard, she's the one who suggests it. Based on function again. Here's the chat.
yo, listen, dude, bro. I can't be the person that you need me to be right now. You are still young, bro. You are in your 40s, you're 45. You're still young. I'm 45 like you. I'm on menopause. I can't give you no kids no more.
Yes.
And I don't want to do no sexual shit no more. I'm tired of that shit. I feel like you need to get someone younger to take care of that part of you. I'm already taking care of half the other shit anyway. I'm doing the finances, I'm doing the kids.
Yeah.
Just let me do that. And
Let
do
that be my job.
with someone else. Are you sure about this? Yes. Who did you have in mind? That is so and so, my sister's friend,
Then we
cousin,
move.
nah.
Yeah.
But you do that.
And on and on and on. By the time you die, at like maybe 70, 80 years old, what, 30, 40 kids? 4, 5, 6 wives? Your family structure is solid. Your name will definitely live on if you've got 40 kids, dog.
Forever.
Definitely, dog.
You understand? Forever. Yeah.
Function,
Abraham,
met.
activity, the father of many nations. That's what we're
Tick.
thinking about.
Slap. Function in the gig.
Yeah.
Sakilum society.
Yeah.
And if you are a father, all those kids are clean. They move right. They actually add to the society. Sakaliv, literally.
So that marriage setup works in that instance.
It worked.
Exactly.
Definitely.
So now, what do you think the resistance is with the whole marriage thing?
You know me, dog. Foreign doctrines. Everything is foreign doctrines, dog.
Because we go from arranged marriages, we don't want that now as a society. We go to polygamous marriages,
We don't want
we
that
don't
either.
want that. And of course, it's the white folks who told us that we shouldn't do this.
Exactly my point.
Big
foreign
man thing.
doctrines.
Now the polyandrous, they're trying to finesse it in.
Foreign
nicely.
doctrines.
Allow it.
Emavela mhlabeni lokwenziwa nendvo kiwo ayabalwa. I think it's like 2 or 3. Because remember, like maybe like in Tibet, some shit, there's a shit like that. Like, but these random fucking countries, it's like it's irrelevant.
It's
not,
irrelevant.
It's not a thing that's gonna ever be a thing.
Bro, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, bro.
Like, it's.
But
not
then
gonna
someone
happen.
will say, that's because the society is patriarchal.
That
Yeah,
has
bro.
nothing to do with it.
I'm saying that's the other thing, dog. Everything now is then connected to this. Anytime you hold women accountable for anything, you patriarchy. So yeah,
Look, every time, every time they have to address a problem, they cannot negate us from the issue.
why? Because we are not the issue in this.
We've got nothing to do with polyandry.
Dogs, it's like this. Wena mina nangutshela ukuthi mina baby girl mina ngifuna ukuthatha stem. Utshona ngisifuna step okay sharp. Hlala lapho. Ngamthola lo sifuna kule stem. Done. Why then are you fighting? Because now wafunile ngufuna ko mina. Shothi automatically mina ngisafuni wena ke. Hlala la uhlala khona. I'm moving on.
As a function,
You're not in line with the mission, Joe. So you're gonna betray my team.
Yeah.
Awudlalela team yakho. Mina ngifeva United ngidlalela City. Angidinga. Hambi udlala le.
Uphiza ufake my own goal.
Buka. Udogisa le team vele. Hamba.
So now, just by like 3. Then there's traditional marriages, because that's another thing.
Ulomgcike loyo.
Uyabo,
Ulomgcike loyo.
about fooling, not about it. I think personally, I've had this conversation with you and X, and I was like, if I get married,
Tabang lokho kuphela. No white.
It's the white dog. I don't
Amandla.
I don't get it.
No, but dog.
Yeah,
But you
well.
remember I always concede and say to you, no, do the right one. But for her,
Yes. Now
For
this is
her.
where I will concede.
yeah.
Now
for
I'm
her,
being
because it's
selfish
like, she's
because she's also part of everything that's going on. I can't exclude her 100% from the decision.
Angithi nje lo, you see with the traditional, she's done the right thing. Akusizo ukuthi umloko wakho. It's the right thing.
Yes.
It's our thing. It's our thing. She's done the right thing. It's our thing. Let's not adopt foreign doctrines and make them ours.
Now they will say, no, but you men are, first of all, you guys are new age black people, number one.
We black.
What the fuck do you know about traditional marriage? I know someone's already typing that in the comments. You allow it, bro.
No.
What do you know?
Me
Why are you
about
trying to
traditional
do,
marriage.
why are you trying to do something that you do not fully educate?
Fully understand it, my body.
Yeah.
Because that is the complete covenant of this thing that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So now, we're done.
the virginity covenant, we're not getting that anymore.
Where are you gonna find it, bro?
So we're not doing that,
Forget
right?
about virgin.
So now this goes back to the second definition that I made about marriage.
Yeah.
What's bringing two families together. So in the traditional structure of this thing, lokusihlatsho lesilwane kwendiwe letintfo letendiwako la kuwe ungulofati lotala khaya. Excuse me. Kutsi sesiyakutsatsa wena.
Yebo.
Sesikwenda wala khaya. Nangabe uchamuka le kaNkosi, yebo uchamuka le kaNkosi. Kodwa nyalo siyakhokha kaNkosi. Sikufaka kaMasuku. Officially. Kuthi bonke boMasuku nake baba khona phambelini sebayade ukuthi sekunantombi zodwa lana wakadlamini lo sifikele la khaya.
Yeah.
Baze bamnike igama la kaMasuku. Ngoba sewethu. Sesukuthethe. That's the whole point of that shit. You know? That officiates the covenant. It's like say we are married now.
Yeah.
The white wedding is for your friends and for your pictures. Yeah, but the marriage now, the setup of the marriage is half complete at the very least. Because then now, this goes even into the kids that are being born. Because then the stories if kids are not born in the right structure. And people don't know that.
Madness is happening.
People don't know that. We had to put see umwana lodalwe from a white wedding situation. Waboma kwakhe.
Waboma kwakhe kanjani?
Ngesintfu leso no. Angisi-deep kakhulu ngesintfu.
Yebo.
So I just hint on the little bit that I know.
Okay.
But the point that I'm
so
trying
you're
to
saying
get
now,
is,
if I marry a girl, white style,
yeah,
nice suit,
Yeah,
tuxedo
everything.
thing, baby girl in the veil,
Uh-huh.
everybody there. She takes her mother's surname.
Yeah.
Break it down.
Yeah,
For
bo.
me to read.
Listen, angithi kwayena lo mfati akusiyo umfati wakho kwanaye kwashadina naye. She can't take your surname. She shouldn't. By law.
Is that now why we're
Obviously.
doing the double barrel thing?
That's why we have to. Because mina ngikusho ukuthi the white wedding yakhe nebangani bakhe netithombe. Akusiyo umshado loyo. Angashadi. You threw an event and you made us come witness.
And then we sign.
Uyathi kuthi nendeni ndibophile. Angithi nisayinile amaphepha.
Yeah.
Ahlanganise bobani? Bameli nabani? The state. Akusiyo umshado, akusiyo covenant. That's bondage.
Contract.
To the state. It's a contract. That's the word. It's a contract.
It's a contract. Yeah.
Akusiyo covenant. Kanti part of the element yalo mshado only covenant. Ukuthi thine sesihlangene nganayindlela le intimate. That's why the actual physical intimacy is important in that setup. That's why from back in the day, the idea was, don't do that if it's not in matrimony. Because we covenant
Yeah.
Sayilahla. The whole way. And Sagata sayilahla.
I left my home. I left my home. To join the army. To join the army. I left my home. I left my home. To join the army. To join the army. The day I left. The day I left. My home.
Alright. Yeah, so now, back to the vibes though. That as I was taking the break, I'm a band labatzala. Realize lokuthi hayi man. Kuneng la feel lahla khona. Cause kwecala sitibopha ngecontract ye-state. That has nothing to do with our marriage dynamic. Sobabili or as the families. Sesitibophe kumthetho waleso sife lesiphila kiso.
Yeah.
Kwecala. And then because I overanalyze things, but I have to. Sengiphindze ngibuka ukuthi kodwa vele phela kuze bantu ubathunge ubonise ngalokuphelele, you need to strip them of their actual identity, right?
Yeah, fully.
So
Fully.
indzaba ye-polygamy bayilahla basasayishisa sayishisa nathi leni because already our numbers were spanned. It's like, yo, if it goes down with these cats, we can't beat them.
We're not gonna beat them.
So kwekucala kunciphele nombolo yabo. Where's two?
akunciphe le ndlela abacabanga ngayo bacabangise wethu
Yeah.
babe ngithi.
Yeah.
And then that's the only way we can control them. And then we let it happen. And as it's been happening, Wufatin. And again, ironic, we put that clip on the Valentine's Day episode where Begomi was speaking, shout out.
Yes.
And he was saying that, it's what's good for us we need to keep, what's bad for us it's not keep.
Will not keep.
You know? And we didn't do that. We did the exact opposite of what that man instructed. And now we are here.
Here we are today.
But I digress.
We
Back
we digress.
to the marriage situation.
Yes.
The initial question over 30 minutes ago was, is it worth it right now?
Right now.
Is it practical right now?
Does the math add up? Because you know us, we always have to do the math.
math.
Do the math. Always now.
I no say feeling yalo, because even the values that we were doing it for originally, we've lost those.
We always have this convo and I say, high risk,
Low reward.
It doesn't mean as much and you don't get as much out of it now.
Either way.
Now the issue is, if it goes south, that's the other issue now. If it goes south,
Angithi kodwa uyabo, you see why ngithi we've lost our values. That's it couldn't go south.
yeah,
There was no room for that. Ukuthi this thing can go south. No. No. Function is more important. It's not going south. As long as he's doing what he's supposed to do and you doing what you're supposed to do, everything is fine.
we move.
Angithi nyalo sekuna I want, I feel. I.
Selfish.
Again, going back to the kind of society we are creating now.
Yeah.
That's why it's a individualistic society.
Big word.
You know, instead of putting more focus on the group.
Yeah.
Right? So if I'm pulling that way and you pulling that way and he's pulling that way, we're all doing different things. What happens to the society that two are ultimately creating and existing?
It's null and void ultimately. Because now the theory is when you have one stick on its own, it's easy to break it.
Exactly.
But you put 10 of those marbles
You're not
together,
breaking them.
You're not breaking them. You know, because we banded together. We are one. We're moving in the right direction. Strength in numbers. We always
So
say.
even if it's the wrong direction, that's how
Exactly.
coups are made.
You
And
see.
it's like, yo, something's gonna cut.
Something's gonna cut.
And then again, another strategy to win, divide and conquer.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
just
no.
divide them.
That's a bit, yeah.
You need to ask yourself, why is it good it's only black people that are divided? Because black people are the threat.
Yeah.
Black people are the OG. It's just like, bruh, come on, dog.
Can you imagine how powerful it would be if we do the marriage thing properly, have the youths the right way, what kind of society and powerful of a group we'd be?
Unfortunately, I'm not going to say it's unlikely because I'm a pessimist on some things, but this is something I truly believe we need to try and accomplish, right?
Yeah.
It starts like this. It starts small.
Mm.
We do barracks. It's just two of us doing barracks.
Yeah.
But if 10 people take the pledge, 20 people take the pledge, that means now you have men that are thinking a certain way, and it's the right way to think, and it's the right way to move. And then that forces the women to have a similar structure. Now they start having shit like this and start having these chats with themselves. It doesn't have to be a channel, it doesn't have to be anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's a platform for them to just chill and actually be like, yo, but you know what, guys? Yeah, do we fumbling?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's we fumbling as the hands. We need to start acting a little bit better. You know? I
Because,
mean,
yeah, go ahead.
don't let it be about boys and makeup and stories all the time. You know, no disrespect to that kind of content. But the point that I'm making is,
we have these chats naturally.
All the time too.
Like whether it's on the barracks or when we're just chilling, we have these chats. And that's what women think we don't do. We do this. We check each other. We fucking have the chats that are not supposed to be had, I guess.
Yeah, locker room chat.
You know what I mean? It's like, yo, dog, how is this locker room chat? This is information that we all should be having and consuming together.
Regularly as well.
In fact,
Regularly.
together.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
You know, no, because it's not weird for us. Like, I've seen you already 3-4 times this week alone, and these are the chats typically. So I was slowly telling logo. That's a start. It's not a lot.
Because look, ultimately, you don't need 100% of the population to invoke change. You only
10%.
need, you see,
10%.
10%.
Cala kanjalo.
10%, that's all it takes. You know, we've seen it with the LGBT community. They did that.
Shout out to them. They
10%.
pulled that off.
Yeah, bro.
Even with the feminism itself.
Feminism as well. You know, it wasn't all the women who were for it, but they just banded together. A nice group, solid group.
And it makes sense.
You see, it worked for
Yeah.
what they're trying.
Whatever
to do.
the reason, yeah.
You know, now when if I see, this is exactly my point. If I say to you, "Hey, dog, you know, I'm trying to marry this son," what are you gonna say to me, my boy?
Hawu kusayihlatile. Hayisahlala phansi. Ngoba angizike nyalo. The first question I'm gonna ask you is why?
You see?
Why?
Why?
I love her, you stupid. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah. You see?
Again, we repeat. Why? Bese ungichazele function. Can she do it?
Can
Yes,
she do it?
I feel like she can.
Because now she has to
I
be-
bet. Contingency.
Yeah, you have to.
Yo,
Escape plan, my
man's
boy.
boy. Contingency. Fitting. I know, Lalena, Papa. I know, my boy. Support. Let's
Go
do it.
for it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, boy. But we don't do that now. Because when lokta wenda nyalo, utamthola lo muntu, uthi I'm not gonna tell nobody because I know what they gonna say.
Foolishness.
I know what they gonna say. I know what they gonna say.
Foolishness.
Yabo.
Yeah.
Angithi lapho sosaba ukuthi will out-reason you. Because thina sikahle ngalokho will reason.
We'll handle you.
Yabo, will out-reason you. Ubone na ukuthi hayi ade lento lena ngathi ngayicabanga.
Yeah.
Ubuyele uyodla
Usuke
amathambo.
ngajaka la. Yeah. Yeah.
So mtshela kuthini kodwa yena ngoba somthembisile.
Yo.
Wena sobuka lokho nyalo ukuthi phela sesicabene nyalo utangala. Thathe pressure umshado. 2-3 years divorce.
Sendani.
So limele.
Eish.
Because that's another thing. Like because the dynamic is so different now. It's actually become a hustle for them now.
Of course.
And they're very
my
cognizant
boy,
of that.
Very easy get rich quick scheme. Looting scheme.
Legal, by the way. Legal.
Looting scheme. Get in the mandament debt scheme. All of that, bro. All of that.
Legal. Now when Jemle
Yeah. So it's like because now I'm saying because the question is it worth it nowadays for us as the O's, whether you're a regular man, average, high end, low end, high value, whatever you are, the odds of you getting a successful marriage are slim. Number one.
Facts.
Number two, when it goes south, you suffer more than the hand.
Okay.
Yeah, both.
Facts.
You suffer more because you have to rebuild yourself financially. Number one.
Yeah.
And you have to be paying fees for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That you ain't
Her
trying
and
to
the youth, yeah.
dog.
Now you are also fucked with your relationship with your youth.
Dog. Well, so, cause now I mean personally, if we had that candidate we spoke about, we'd say, yo, Hans, give us your candidate. I would ask them. What
Okay.
when you guys think about marriage and conceptualize, nisuke nifuna ini kulo mshado?
Buka bengisatotsi ke mina angidlale devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Ekutheni bona beva ngathi nabo kuyabagongonya a certain way. Right? And as bengisayicabanga leliphuzu lami, I realized from the start ukuthi the whole thing
This guy.
is a bit rigged
Yeah.
already because whatever feelings they have about it, it's about that again, their feelings, how they feel. I feel like when that's not necessarily the reality. It's just that I feel like. Why? Because other women lied to you and said you mustn't do this, you
Ah,
mustn't
the
do
women
this.
like
Even if you want to do it. Now, because there's some man's that's like, no, bro, fuck that. Me, I want to take care of my man. That makes me happy. Personally.
those hands will be shamed 100%
To a point where they start feeling like they are wrong for wanting that.
for wanting that. Even us though, low key, high key. I'm gonna say to you now, bro, I want to do this the right way. Ahlanya wena. Amatumfati. You see.
So makhile inomfata. Cause no,
Yabo.
man, boy.
Oh.
At the end of the day, she must fit the program. Mele akelwe wena. That's why all the verses, all the teachings from older men always say, no, bruh. Getting a woman to marry you is easy. Finding a wife is not.
Yes. Angsi actual Bible, he who finds a wife.
What then is the point? Yabo, because he who finds a wife has found a good thing. And then there's another one that's on some what does it say in jail? Yo, you rather be alone in the roof, corner of the roof of the house, than to be in a nice big house with a quarrelsome woman.
Now,
You see?
just put it into context. Because we were speaking about value and how the
Going back to my tweet.
you see now.
Yabo. Nangabe nywe toti khohlwa.
Quarrelsome.
Shia.
Now we need what
Shia.
taught.
Shia.
And ultimately this is why we want why it works. Not necessarily what we want. It works. That's why we want it.
Facts.
as my thing.
Function again.
You see, function. You need to have a cooperative woman. Because if she's gonna quarrel you at every fucking step, you will go nowhere. Guaranteed.
Exa. Angithi yabo nasithi thina a cooperative woman. Uyathi sometimes kuba cooperative ngiloko kulwisa. Nangabe ubhayiza. That's also cooperative.
Because she's in line with the mission.
She knows that. You see what I mean? Now so when the kanje no pela baby. We don't do it like that. You need this done. This needs to be done. You told me
This is what we're doing.
That's not in line with that. Here's how and why. Respectfully.
See?
Some be saying now, but you appreciate her, I'm tired.
You have to.
Because she's in line with the mission and she's making sure that things must happen the way they are. Or rather they should. That's a wife. Like, oh, you marry?
Hey.
Because you see, not all married men are husbands. Not all married women are wives.
Facts.
Nyalo sesishadela le title yesengishadile. Kanti nale title lesithathako ex-wife or husband is not appropriate if we don't execute the role to perfection.
Sunday service.
Kodwa ke hayi. Angithi it's because it's insult. This bitch fucking called me an insult, bro. I'm still mad at her. That bitch must check herself, bro. Fuck.
They called you an
Yeah, but y'all better cut this down. I'm just like, what the hell, bro? Where do you get the fucking gall, bro, and the cojones?
How dare you?
Do you know who I am, dog? Spangalicious. Ladies, Matombaza. Come on, boy. Come on.
Nah, my boy. Nah, I hear you fully.
Going all over. Heavy. Everywhere. International. And then you call me an insult. Yo, my boy. Anyways,
We digress.
please cut that out. Okay, I know you won't, but fuck it.
It's calm, yeah.
It's like, you see what I mean? Like, even for the fact that there's hands who think like that. How far are we from where we should be as a society?
Look, now the question now will say, yo, we digressing heavy. But it's all linked. It's all interlinked. Now, you just said now there's people who think like that. Yeah, both.
Yeah.
The problem is now the group agrees with them.
The influential.
I mean, that's my issue.
The influential.
You know. So now for the men them who want this thing to do this thing the right way, your options are very slim.
Unicorns.
Unicorns don't exist.
Exactly
So now
my
what are
point.
we saying?
Exactly my point. That's the point. That's why we call them unicorns.
Unicorns. Yeah.
I'm Kanza. But now, yeah, man, fuck the digression. Fuck. Anyways, back to the original point, dog. This thing is bullshit. It's not worth it. It's bogus. Until we fix who we are. as individuals and as a society.
Society,
Only
100%.
then can it start making sense again. Yabona kwanyalo siyabhayiza. No, but if you got the one and you believe truly in your heart of hearts, good niya like kumele khona. Surely by all means, congratulations, do that shit.
Yes. Love it.
But
Right.
mathematically, thine lese sikubalile. Nalese sikubonile. Ayinani. Ayinani. Uti fida lo shevu kwa wena.
Speaking to one of my brethren the other day, just on Sunday actually, he's like, he had spoken about marrying a hand. It's like, I bafethu next year. Siyahamba bafethu simixani ngoma. I was like, my boy, no, let's go for it. Oh, stawuva ngawe thi.
Yeah, thina siva.
It's been a year now. Hey, mlungu.
Manje.
Come by. Men's was like, Oz. I had made a blunder.
Exactly.
Big blunder.
Exactly.
Big blunder.
Ngenhlanhla lenhle wabona angakangeni ngalokuphelele. I remember one time I was telling one of my mans, right? I'm like, yo, dog, you know me, dog. I'm not the type to love hands and want to go all the way in with hands.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm like, yo, but you see this one? If I got my shot, I'm going in all the way, buddy, all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tunes. So you're diving in, dog, head first into the pool. I'm like, yeah, dog, I'm doing that. And it's like, yo, dog, you do know, we'll see, there might not be any water in the pool.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're diving in where now. You've made the decision. Head first, I'm diving in. What if there's no water? So are you trusting her enough? Ukuthi the pool yakho igcwele. Singisengafika ukuthi lamandi mhlawumbe angcolile. But udayiva lamandi ungafi. Okay, sharp ngeke ufe. A clean in lamandi lo nje udayiva.
Hey, buka nyalo ngicabangisa. Okay, you dive in. That's the first thing. Is the water a certain way? What's in the water, my boy? You know them.
Yabo?
You know them ones. It's tricky now.
Worth it? So let's have a pendula lumbuto. Because nyalo we've basically told people it's not worth it and made like so many analogies of
That's
why
the thing.
it
Why
isn't.
it isn't worth
So
it.
now I'm trying to find why it is.
Nowadays.
I guess we're gonna wait all night to
Yeah, it's gonna be a 2-hour
Because I'm
episode
just
with
like-
no answer. Yeah,
like really, really dog. Like nowadays, what makes it worth it? Because okay, now function aside, let's negate the function because we negated the function a long time ago. How does it make you feel?
Yeah.
Because now we want to talk about feelings, right? How does it make you feel?
Yeah.
Here's a scenario. I'm just thinking right now. Okay, for this thing to work, that means my wife must be my peace of mind. I work all day, dog. I'm working now. I'm from work.
Yeah.
At some point, I'm gonna go home, right? Now, let's create a scenario whereby I'm going home to a wife. When I get there, how am I gonna feel?
Yep.
Is this woman my peace or she's my stress? Because from the day that I've had you just took there alone,
Yeah.
the only thing I need when I get bored is something that's gonna make me feel good. So if the person that's there makes me feel good, then from that angle alone, it's worth it.
It's worth it. Yeah.
But how many times do you do that? Like on a consistency level, how many times do you do that instead of stressing me? Again, going back to another scripture, but you can't put a gold ring on a pig's snout. No, that one is harsh. That one is cold, but it's facts.
Yeah.
Because the ring is gold, but a pig is a pig. You can't change it. And I always say to you, pork is nice, but a pig is a pig.
You see, pigs move different, my boy. Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
So now
Crazy
here's
different.
the other thing. Remember, we had a chat with one of the brethren over the weekend,
Yeah.
just at the gathering, bro. And it's like, yo, this brother said, nah, dog. It's okay to like a hand. It's okay to want to marry a hand.
Yeah.
But don't marry a hun that
That
you
you
love
love.
more than she loves you.
That's what women tell them as well. Because you don't marry a man that you love more than he loves you. Because now, with the love game, that's another chat altogether.
Because
But
now
what-
we're just bringing up reasons why you do it now.
Yeah.
So you've just spoken about how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
Now I'm bringing up the love element.
Yeah, she loves me. So I know she's here. The thing with the love thing, the one who cares the most is already lost.
Sure.
Yabo. So that's why everyone is feeling like, yo, no, I must get someone who wants this
More than I want it.
Ganzi, structurally, for the perfect situation, that's not the case. It must be 50-50. Clean. Just in terms of the feelings and mutual desire to want to make this thing work.
I'm a big believer in effort, number one, and reciprocating energy.
Anzi, now it becomes a case of the ideal situation.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I don't want to lose you, you don't want to lose me. That's point number one. Now, because of that, each of us are going to try our very best to make sure that the other person is happy. And from that idea alone, then it's worth it. But to that comes up for you. Because we always pay you. This basifuni.
Dog.
That's the story.
That's always on the TL. Shout out to
Yeah, you know?
who. Yeah.
That's always the story.
Dog.
So now, you must find someone that's stupid enough to accept an 80-20 situation. Like, no, I'll put in the 80. It's fine. Give me your 20. And the way Hans operates is like, fuck it. Let me try and push it to a 95.
95. How's that? Let me do nothing and get everything.
Guns are always on that tip, dog. That's why even when they test you, even if they fucking love you and adore you, they still test you to be like, yo, how far can I go with this nigga? What can I get away with? All the fucking time. Until you die. Even in a marriage structure. It's like, yo, how far can I go? Because they know, because this party operates like this.
Yeah.
This party doesn't play those games.
Okay.
But let me, because he loves me, I know. So let me see how far can I get with him.
Now speaking about love, let's put it back into context with the Bible. What does the Bible say about this setup now? It says, husbands, love your wives. Wives, submit to your husbands. Now we're speaking about this whole love language too.
Yeah.
You see now. Me, I will love you because that's what you need. You need
Yes.
the love
Facts.
more than anything.
But
Me,
I need the submission.
I need the submission because it's ultimately respect as well.
Yeah, facts.
That's my love language. I think
Facts.
what's going on now is women are trying to love us because that's what works for them.
Facts.
That's what they
It doesn't work for the scenario.
You see.
It works for them. I would say it goes back to the idea of human beings being fundamentally selfish. Yeah, but because like I was telling you yesterday, I think there's some hands that I've dealt with in my life that I didn't really rate highly, but because they loved me, you have that sense of obligation to not be a total douchebag.
Yeah.
Now let me give you something that you want,
That
out,
you
of
want
this.
out of it, because-
So that should everything end, the story that you tell is a happy one.
Yeah.
Now we're on your side. It's like, no, but yeah, it didn't work, but shame.
You see. Now what that scenario you're explaining is very function based.
Yeah.
It's all about function. Now we're chasing the fairy tale, we're chasing the butterflies, and these things fade away. Man.
Angithi masokuthi naturally as always. We are doing whatever we do. Ngathi lenza by a function is always in the back of our minds. That's why, like, if you're a total douchebag, like as a nigga, and you treat people unfairly, it's like you're a psychopath. Because it's like dudes don't do that. Dudes are not like inherently evil. They choose to be like that for whatever reason, like circumstantial or choice or whatever the case.
Yeah.
But we're not inherently evil. It's like, yo, dog, it can be the worst hand in the world, the one that you never thought you'd be interested in. But I want the submission to Kulmanga.
Yeah.
I think 100% ngayo. Uthambe.
So will.
So will it purpose.
Yeah.
Lo I'm shut over the one that you actually desire. Because it's like, yo, lo, when the level and And Pella, that's how they even get us at times. Because Hans can read you.
I was saying this to my brother. I'm like, yo, bro, you know what the trick is here? These folk quickly read the room nicely and they'll say, okay, Vumani needs this. Vumani wants this. Let me be this to get what I want.
Exactly. And once you start guying her what she wants, then she stops that. See, limala le function. Because just keep that act for as long as you can.
As you can.
Yeah, but then now, then you're going back to the idea of masculinity and you being one with yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's not about you. I think that's another thing women must realize. It sounds harsh when I say it, yes, but it's the truth. It's not about you. It's the space you must occupy in my life.
Position.
The position will always be there. It's not Gucci, it's your position. The position is there. It's always vacant. It must be filled.
Yeah.
Are you the perfect candidate?
Now the issue is we are now being attached to the person and not
the function.
You see, so it's like gets tricky.
But because we've gone on this one.
And I think
I still feel like we haven't said enough.
We haven't, dog. But this episode is gonna require part 2.
Definitely.
And we'll give it to you accordingly.
Yeah, no.
We'll give it to you
accordingly. Yeah, I say no. I think say I say veng up. Go to the part 2 some approach kanjani.
Yeah.
Ngoba thine le lesikufakile in terms of emaphuzu. Khona labatawufuna kuphikisa, khona labatawufuna kuvumelana nakho. Sesitawubona ke ukuthi sesi approach kanjani thine ke to address those pointers. But bring those arguments out.
Put it in
no,
there.
but you have to this
Put
yes.
it in there.
This yes. This no. Khona nase sibuya ngalo part 2 sesiyayicetha kahle siyayivala.
Yeah.
Because right now the consensus is it's not worth it, it's a waste of time. Don't fucking do that.
When you look, you're right. The dog was home when you look, you're right. The cat was home when you look, you're right. The fish was home when you look, you're right. Your mommy, your daddy, your brother, your sister, the dog, the cat, the fish was home when you look, you're right. And that's the reason you look, you're right. I left my home. I left my home. To join the army. To join the army. I left my home. I left my home. To join the army. To join the army.
Yeah, wasekudu. Solo zama kuyivala le nkonzo lena. Kodwa ayivala valeke ngoba inkulumo ijulile lena iyesinza. Ngiyadzingeka vele lokhu siphindze sibuye siyibukete. Namehlo lahlukile. Yeah. Ngoba hayi. Iyesinza yona, but no. I think for this one more than anything, stayidzinga ne feedback from our good people. Masocha ethu, regardless of your platoon, you're still a part of this band, right?
Of course.
No?
Of course.
So we need your feedback on this, so we can just really dissect it further, maybe with different angles and perspectives. Because nakhulume mina angizidawuthi awasho mina.
Yeah.
Awufundo, awungathi awasho mina.
Yeah, I think part 2 will mainly consist of the modern marriage. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
that perspective. People who are in marriages. Feedback we've got for people who are in marriages, people who have left.
I think ngicela ukurequesta vele lo ukuthi nina lenishadile manje asenisicocacocise.
Yeah.
Nisho ukuthi kahle kahle kwecala nje kufike njani lapho ukuthi nize nishade. West2 lo senishadile.
Yeah.
Info lenjani. Ngoba now all of us are conflicted. Like a lot of us fundamentally we all kind of desire it, right? At the end of the day we all want companionship, right?
Yeah.
Now the issue is everyone is terrified of fucking marriage, right? We can want it, but we are terrified of it.
Yeah.
Hands and dudes alike for
yes.
different reasons. So I think really on the part 2 stuff is kahle lokho. So sit unpack ukuthi wendiwa yini. Nini nicabangelani kanjena kuthini? Sicabangelani kanje.
Yeah.
Because statistically my boy,
the maths is not good.
I mean lokhu nje kubalo vele
that's the offside. Sengishaya eceleni kwelipali sengiyekele. But you know, as I was thinking about it, okay, we need to wrap this up. I was actually thinking about it with some of these people that have pieces of my soul and pieces of who I am because of how I felt about them at whatever time. It was actually based on function value the whole time. It's like, yes, I feel how I feel, and it's good. Yes, I love how I feel, but function-wise, this makes sense. At the time.
Yeah.
And in my 20 whatever years, in my life, I think it's only happened twice where I feel like, you know what, this you know. And oddly enough, both times it wasn't with someone that was actively in my space in that capacity.
I see.
Yes, you were in my space, but ngabona these certain qualities ukuthi hayi man, yathi lana nasingafika ekugcineni ngaba kahle lenza-ke ngaphela kahle. And one of those hands that I felt that about, nalo mnye umfo kade wayibona le ndvo lengayibona wavele wathi yebo ngiyathatha
Inside.
ngiyathatha la. Yeah. And ngikwade kwami vele kusenjalo vele kule ndvo lengayibona mina lengaboniswa yona ukuthi cha vele
Ngicanisisa sicedzile lebekuningi.
no ngeke size sicethe kodwa-ke kumele siyifale.
Wena wasegood.
Siyayifala nyalo. It's been another real episode
Heavy.
of the Barracks. You know, the masculinity.
Yeah.
Sesikhulumile cishe safika la sifika khona. Sesicela kuyivala like, comment and subscribe. Sitawuphonse sibonane ke kule episode lelandzelako. Siyabonga ke ukuhlanganyela nangani kule nkonzo yanamuhla.
It's the
It's been
Barracks.
real. It's the Barracks signing out.
I've always been about a girl, so I'm proposing marriage. A wedding day with 2 unicorns and golden carriage. I know that's funny, but I truly think you're magical. But now I'm learning that my love for you ain't practical. I'm really proud of you. Pretty soon you gon' be a doctor. You God's angel, you heaven sent, and your mind is proper. This thing is written, I'm Simba, you've always been my Nala. See, I understand that I butterfly through the seas for you. Her robber bag to fly overseas just to kiss you, boo. Yeah, I'm missing you like a Ronaldo penalty. I'm good by myself, you just provoke a better me.
Kunestimela lesitha lapho kuwena ngesithatha ngoba kukhashanele shayina ngiyakwathi ndiza ngemthanyelo ngangiyandiza ngoba kukhashanele shayina kuthe mina ngibe nawe fane ngibe mina nawe.
The Barracks Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe.